Let me shift this discussion to one issue which really interests me, and I'll start with George. If this election is lost by the left, then they will be out of power in India. They have never been part of power structure sharing regime in Delhi. They chose to stay out of it. They didn't let Mr. Basu become the Prime Minister post Rajiv Gandhi. They did not become part of Manmohan Singh's cabinet. It's part of history, CPM. Now, they are not in power in West Bengal, sir. They are not in power in Tripura. This is the state where democratically the left came to power in 1950s, which was unceremoniously dismissed by Nehru under Indira Gandhi's pressure. Correct? This state, they are in power for last 10 years. If they lose, then they will lose the state democratically in a democratic election. So my question is that in the larger perspective, where do you place the politics of the left if it loses Kerala? What happens to the left? Because left in itself has become a sort of a cuss word in the larger narrative, and I should be blunt when they say left Congress. You know, the lefties have done this. Even within the narrative of the Congress, a lot of people say left has taken over the Congress. You know, we have lost the middle ground. So left in itself, in terms of ideology, narrative and positioning has become very, very problematic. That reinvention is not happening. It's not like New Labour of Tony Blair. They reinvented themselves. That's how they came back to power. So George, to you.
Karthika Sharma, that is the most pertinent question right now in India, even not just Kerala. You know, this is the last bastion of Kerala left in India. You know, they lost the West Bengal and Tripura completely. If this election, left loses, and there is a big chance for that. This may be the end of a major left power in India, because there is no other way. This is the last small area where they can say that they are in power. Even if they are not in power, after Pinarayi Vijayan, you know, the party is in real trouble. There is no leader who can garner votes, who can, muster things into right perspective of left, and they can put pressure on other parties in the national level, or no, even in the state level. This will be a real test for CPIM and left parties altogether in Kerala. That is the biggest challenge left is facing now. From 64 MPs in parliament, from now they are lost to just 2 in the Lok Sabha right now. And they can't think of losing Kerala. But there is a big chance. As my friend Nirmal said, I too see a clear edge for the UDF in Kerala. And this elections, left is trying their best in Kerala to regain, because there is a little chance for that, because there's 5% vote change or in the central Kerala and the southern part of Kerala towards left. And there is a big chance because Kerala Congress Mani Group, which is very dominant in Kottayam, Idukki and Pathanamthitta districts, and in the high ranges of Kerala, across Kerala, there are some votes, at least 5,000, 2,000, 1,000 votes, they can change. They can change the whole scenario. That's why I said this is not a complete 100% sure bet for UDF or Congress in Kerala right now. There is a chance. There is a big chance for UDF and Congress. And people want a change. I don't think there is a tall leader for Congress. There is from V.D. Satheeshan, the opposition leader, Ramesh Chennithala, the former opposition leader, and K.C. Venugopal, the ACC. All three are eyeing for the chief ministership. There is no doubt about it. Because I know I am covering Congress for the last 36 years, and I know what is exactly in between them. And in the other side, UDF, LDF, there is a clear tall leader, whether you love him or hate him, like Narendra Modi. That is why people call him Mundudutta Modi. That is a Modi clad in the local traditional dhoti. Pinarayi Vijayan is known as the Mundudutta Modi in Malayalam. And this is not just because of their style of functioning, that there is nobody else. In the entire campaign in Kerala, there is only one leader for left, and one face is shown in from Kasaragod to Thiruvananthapuram. That is only Pinarayi Vijayan. This Pinarayi Vijayan, he's crossed 80, and even now, he is the tall leader. There is no such leader in the Congress or in UDF. There is a confusion who will become the CM.
Okay.
And these
okay. Then let me ask you this question: will K.C. Venugopal be able to fulfill his ambition this time?
All three have clear ambitions. K.C. Venugopal, Ramesh Chennithala,
yes,
and V.D. Satheesh.
Yes.
No doubt about it. And nobody can predict right now.
No one can. Nirmal, can you make a wild guess? See, K.C. Venugopal, everyone knows. And the other two, they refuse to retire, They refuse to retire. Nirmal, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I think it's hard even for Congress party members to make that prediction, which is why Congress has remained to be, I hate saying this, a laughing stock in the last 6 months or so leading up to the election, because they didn't know who the leader could be. Even today, if you ask us or even the party members, they wouldn't know who the leader is. But as Sri George pointed out, all three of them are front runners. We don't know who it is going to be, but one thing's for sure, they have the edge. And one thing that I would like to add...
Nirmal, when you say leaders, I'm not saying that I've covered Congress party for 36 years, but with my bit of understanding of the Congress party, it's not about leaders in plenty in state. Congress always had plentiful leaders in the state. I'll give you one classic example of Madhya Pradesh in 1980s. You had Motilal Vora, you had Suresh Pachauri, you had Arjun Singh, you had Mr. Shukla there, then you had Mr. Yadav also there, went on to become Subhash Yadav went on to become the Deputy Chief Minister. Then you had budding Digvijay Singh also there. I can just go on and go on. There were multiple leaders from the tribal community. But the ability of the Gandhis to manage the leadership was there. They would, make Motilal Vora governor, Arjun Singh would be sent to Punjab, someone else would be the chief minister for some time. It is this inability to rotate chief ministers and this whole idea that has come that we can rotate chief ministers as a contract has turned out to be really problematic. They did not do it in Kashmir. The alliance is intact. Omar Abdullah functioned for CM for 6 years. Now this rotation is not working. Rotation destroyed Rajasthan. Rotation broke Congress party in Madhya Pradesh. Rotation led to lot of problem in Chhattisgarh. They didn't come back to power. Rotation is creating so much of problem in Karnataka. But there is no problem in Telangana. No one thinks about it. And it was so evident, in one of our functions when the Chief Minister of Telangana came and the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka came, the questions to the Deputy Chief Minister was about his ambition. And the questions to the Telangana CM was about the state. Because there is no number 2, number 3. There is nothing to ask about the Congress party. All you ask about him, his governance and the BJP. So I think that's the inability of the centre to play with these leaders is really the biggest problem. People even forget P.V. Narasimha Rao was shunted out after doing land reforms in Andhra Pradesh. And he had to pay a price. As a chief minister, he was shunted out and sent to New Delhi as AICC General Secretary. So I think that is really plaguing the Congress, whether it is a result of lack of masterful, the political secretaries or the inability of the state leaders to see that this investment in Delhi is good, So let's not push them around, That's what I very strongly feel about the Congress table,
Yeah, I mean, that's true. From the grassroots level, that is true. But if you notice, in the last 6 months, I think the leadership has done a fairly good job because these three were not the only three people in the picture. There was K. Sudhakaran. They somehow managed to convince him not to even contest in the elections. Shashi Tharoor was also in the picture at some time. So I think they've managed it fairly well, although not perfectly as the left. But the problem with the left is this. They only have Pinarayi Vijayan. And as you rightly mentioned, if they lose this time, then you will see leaks within the party, issues within the party, because there is no clear leader. The only other clear leader that was about to come about was KK Shailaja, but then she was completely removed out of the roster last time. So there is no clear leader. That's one issue that is going to really affect LDF, even if they are in the opposition. The second thing is, I think, look, when I initially mentioned that it's a shame that they, if they go on to win, it'll be a shame. It's not that my emotions took the better of me. I believe in democracy. I'm a person who voted for the left in 2016. But I think, as the old adage goes, democracy dies when the power stops listening and starts controlling. I think that's what's going wrong with the left today, because they have stopped listening. Asha workers, they spoke up about their discrepancies and troubles. They didn't listen. Shabrimala devotees spoke up. They didn't listen. The poor and the downtrodden, who apparently are the people that the left actually stood for, spoke up, but they didn't listen. So this is where I oppose the left now, because for the last 5 years or so, they've absolutely ignored the needs of the poor and the downtrodden, the people who've been sidelined, the underprivileged, and those were actually the people that the left party was meant for, that was built for. So I think that's where they've missed out. And coming to BJP, I know people are talking about BJP probably getting 5 or 6 seats. I still think it's an early stage to predict. I would say maybe 2 to 3 seats at best. The one thing that really must have affected their chances is 2025 Christmas season, where, across the country, there were waves against Christmas being celebrated, against malls, decorating with Christmas items, and even street vendors were asked to leave. Christmas carols were not allowed to recite. So all of these things may have affected, because Kerala, as you know, has a large Christian population. And one thing that could affect the chances of both the left and the right meaning UDF in Kerala, is that these votes that may return back from BJP, there were Christian votes in the Lok Sabha elections that went to the BJP, but after 2025 Christmas, and also because of FCRA, I think there are people who will move out of BJP, and it is interesting to see where they will go to, who they will cast their vote to. Will it be UDF or LDF? And that will also play a part. And here's the thing. Although I say UDF has an edge, as Sri George rightly pointed out, it's usually only a 5 to 6% difference. And that's not a lot of votes. So BJP is going to be a crucial player, unlike the last time. Although they may not win the election, maybe 2 or 3 seats, but they will decide who could win in certain constituencies.